Greetings, guys. Greetings. How are you doing today? Yeah, today is one of those days where the video is not coming easy to me, and I've had to do a couple of takes here. So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to convey this information to you guys, but it is a little bit of a challenge today, and I'm feeling a little bit low energy and a little bit tired. But we carry on. We create. And I said to you guys I was going to make a video for you every single day, and I want to do that because I believe that there's a great amount of information that I can convey to my audience out there that is potentially useful and in some cases potentially life-changing, just from me sharing my story about my struggles, about where I've been and where I'm going, what I do in my daily existence, and how I think that can help people out there become more peaceful in their lives. And so making this video is not an obsession for me. It is something that I want to do. So what is the difference between what would you, I guess, term something healthy, like a healthy obsession, versus an addiction, something that is dangerous to your everyday existence? I think the definition of that is the thing that you're doing causing you more stress or bringing you more peace? Are you able to engage in whatever you're engaging in a peaceful manner, or is it causing you more stress? Is it causing you more anxiety? Is it making your life more difficult? Is it choosing you, or are you choosing it? Okay. I can solidly say that I am choosing this video every day, even though sometimes it can be frustrating. Like today it's a little bit frustrating because I'm trying to get my words out, but sometimes my words seem to be failing me. But you know what? It's okay because I want to make this happen. So I'm going to try again and do another take and try to be as still authentic in every one of those takes. And I think because I'm not trying to be any different to what I'm feeling currently, I think then even if I have to redo a take or anything like that, I'm still not feeling that stressed. It could be frustrating at times, but I'm not like making my life worse as a result of it. However, before, I used to be so obsessed with the video and getting it perfect that if I didn't say exactly the right word, I'd be like, okay, another take. And before you know it, I'm like on 25, 30 takes, and I still haven't gotten my point across. I still haven't said what I want to say, and that's unhealthy. That's an unhealthy obsession. I believe the best definition for addiction is a gradual narrowing of the things that bring you joy. So notice how in this, it's not adding any sort of tinge of morality to it. What most people think when they hear addiction is alcoholism, drug addiction, pornography, things of that nature. But no one really talks about sort of like a positive addiction, and how positive things can also become addictions and can end up being forces for negativity instead of positivity, forces to make your life more hell than is necessary. And I would love to just use my own experience to convey to you how this can become possible, right? When I first started my spiritual journey, if you want to call it that, I began meditating. And meditation, I did a simple meditation. I just, would take one breath in, count one, take a breath out, count two, and focus on my breath and go from just counting my breaths up to 10, then going back to 1. And this had a profound amount of change on my existence. Literally, it took a while, okay? It takes a while. 10 minutes a day of doing that. It took a while to get to a point where I started noticing that I became calmer. I had that separation from my emotions and my moods, and that I was able to, and that I would see these positive changes in my life. I also started up journaling, and would write every day, stream of consciousness, whatever would come to my head, and that time to myself really started to help me. It really started to change my everyday existence. I started becoming less prone to mood swings, and it was just really healthy for me to be doing what I was doing. However, at some point, I started to develop this obsession with so-called self-improvement. Instead of just doing my meditation and my journaling, it became meditation, breathwork, journaling, exercise, this, that. And it became these rituals that all got strung together, and they started becoming more of a hindrance than they were useful to me. Because if I didn't do them for the exact amount of time that they were supposed to be done every day, if something got in the way with, life is like that. Sometimes things come up that don't allow me to completely finish my routine that I've laid before me, then I would get depressed. Then I would get anxious. Then I would feel inadequate as a person. It's like, you didn't do what you were going to say you were going to do. And instead of that becoming a force for good, it started to do the opposite. It started to become a force to flog myself. It started becoming like a whip to whip myself with. Oh no, you didn't do your meditation for exactly 10 minutes today. You did 8. Therefore, you're wrong. Then you didn't journal for exactly an hour today, or you didn't do exactly 3 pages of journaling, so you're bad. You're wrong. You didn't wake up at precisely 5 a.m. today. Instead, you slept in for another hour. You're bad. You're wrong. And this is just an illustration of what I believe many people are going through. Maybe it's a real extreme, because I was always a person that went to great extremes, went to great lengths to figure himself out. And perhaps that comes from, my previous history of alcoholism and drug addiction. But I believe many people are going through it on maybe a more subtle level in their everyday existence. The same thing, it's like if you don't wake up at exactly 5 a.m. every day, then you're a waste of space. If you feel inadequate, so now a positive force for good. It's like, okay, I'm waking up in the morning, I'm taking the day by storm. I'm going to be, I'm getting that extra 2 hours to myself, or that extra 2 hours to do the work that I need to do. And instead, it becomes this measure of who you are. And I think that's the crux, really, now that I really think about it. It's that you're using something to measure your value with. And now some people will say, okay, it's only it's like, oh, you're using something outside of you to measure your value. But I believe that you can also use something inside of you to measure your value. If you're using anything to measure your value, period, that is a problem, guys. Okay? Why don't you just have inherent value? Just being you, just existing. Why does there need to be a barometer for how valuable you are today? Okay, is sun and sunniness, like a sunny day, more valuable than a rainy day? Or is it completely based on your own perception? Sometimes we completely based on our own perception, right? I mean, if we want to go to the beach, a sunny day is valuable. It's very valuable, right? But to a farmer who wants his crops to grow, he would rather have like a rainy day. Oh shit, there's been no rain for a while. We need rain. I'd rather not use, I'd rather not use council water or anything. I'd rather not use my irrigation system and everything. I need water. I'd rather the rain take care of that for me. So just based on where you are, your perception of where you are, that's value. That's where you assign value. But it doesn't mean that each one of those states doesn't inherently have value. So I think we need to get rid of that thing in our heads that's forcing us to measure everything that we do against our inherent value. Why can't things just be what they are? Why do we always have to be measuring them? Why do we always have to put the ruler next to it and say, that's ideal, Instead, we should just be taking pleasure in everything for its own sake, never trying to elevate our value through the action of doing it. Whilst I'm making this video, I should just take complete pleasure in the fact that I'm creating the video for the sake of it. I shouldn't be thinking that the video that I'm making right now is speaking about my value as a person. Now, it might be difficult for us to do that because, again, you got those YouTube metrics and everything. Although the video doesn't get out to the amount of people that I want to get it out to, then the video was a failure. No, but then you're never really enjoying the moment. You're never enjoying the process for what the process is, and that's a dangerous game to be engaging in. And this is how obsessions form, because we're starting to look at whatever we're doing as a measure of our value as human beings. Our value as human beings. This is why spiritual obsessions are so dangerous, because you think that you're doing good for yourself. But I've met people who are so obsessed with their spiritual practices that they cannot go a day without them. And if they do not do them on one particular day, they start having literally a cadenza. I've met people. I was like, oh, I didn't do my breath work today. Yeah. Guys, I've been that guy. I've been that dude. Calm down. You're missing the point of why you do the breath work in the first place, guys. You want to change the way you feel. That's not the reason that we do the breath work. The reason we do the breath work is because we're enjoying the breath work. That's why you should be doing the breath work. You shouldn't be doing the breath work because you think you're going to achieve some sort of result via doing the breath work. This is where obsession becomes a problem. I used to do cold immersion every day. I did cold immersion every day for weeks. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. I used to do all these crazy routines, and I tried to do it. It just wasn't me. Just wasn't me. Why am I obsessed with the schedule of waking up at like a ridiculous time of the morning? In fact, I used to sometimes, my body was telling me that was not the way to go. I used to sometimes wake up, I used to go to bed at 9, planning to wake up at 3. Instead, I would wake up at 1 and freak out, like I was having a freak out. My body was telling me that this is not the way to go. I was just stressed the entire time. I wasn't getting enough sleep. And then I wake up and force myself to get into this cold exposure. And now I'm not saying, guys, that this might not be the thing for you to do, but I feel better now. I think this speaks to something. I feel better now. Not doing cold exposure every day. Waking up at whatever time, like my body starts to wake up. I do set my alarm sometimes, guys, so don't get me wrong here. But I'm feeling a lot more relaxed just getting the 8 hours of sleep, that I require. Or even if I get less sleep, I just feel much calmer just not being obsessed about the amount of time I sleep. Sometimes I will sleep 6.5 hours and I can't sleep anymore. Sometimes that's another obsession. Oh, damn, I didn't get enough sleep. My day's ruined. No, guys. No. The human mind is incredibly powerful. if we can just remain at peace, if we can just remain calm in whatever situation, be adaptable, that's the thing. That's great. That's what we're supposed to be striving towards. Not getting obsessed with anything and just enjoying life for what it is. Is it fine to have objectives? Yes, but just don't get obsessed with that objective. Don't use it as a way to measure your self-worth by. It's fine to have objectives. Great. Go get what you need to go get done. But don't make that getting that thing done the reason that you live. Like for me, like recently I had an ear injury. I've had an ear injury. And I haven't been able to work out. I'm not allowed to work out. I can cause more damage to my ear. And yet for some reason I'm actually happier than when I was working out. Because on some level, again, I was getting obsessed with working out. And I was using that as a way to measure my self-worth. Even though I've overcome it in the past, it can become a challenge. At one point, I was working out twice a day, 7 days a week. I was burning myself out and hurting myself. But I kept doing it. Another positive thing that I overdid that can become an obsession. For me, at the moment, I've been terrible. terrible with stretching. I'm not allowed to work out, but I could be stretching. But have I been stretching? No, I haven't been stretching. Have I been doing self-massage? No, I haven't been doing self-massage. And I'm suffering the consequences for it. I'm stiffer, I've got more pain in my body, it's ow. But you know what, I accepted, and today I'll probably do some stretching, because it's getting to a point now it's getting irritating. But sometimes even going backwards in something like flexibility can be an advantage. Because going backwards means that you can see why you were doing the thing in the first place. I'm doing the stretching, but I'm not appreciating that my body's more supple. Now that I stopped doing the stretching after the injury and everything like that, and doing less physical activity, now I can appreciate what the stretching was doing for me, because I can see what my life is like without it. So sometimes there's also idea of constant progress, this constant just straight up line going up, can also make us feel depressed and anxious. Being healthy can be in its own hindrance. That's why I appreciate Mediterraneans and the way they look at food and life. It's like, the Mediterraneans, bro, they love their food. They don't limit themselves on what they eat. A little bit of protein, a little bit of carbs, a little bit of wine. They have a dessert with every meal. But they never go balls to the wall, right? They never eat over the top. They never drink over the top. They're not over the top productive. A lot of places in Europe, the Mediterranean, a siesta is cultural. And I think they live much happier lives as a result, because they're not always trying to push themselves to the brink. They actually enjoy life. And I think we need to take a little bit of a pointer from those people, because anything can become addiction. Anything can become an obsession, and it can sneak up on you guys. It can really sneak up on you if spiritual things I know people, again, it's with the yoga, people get obsessed with yoga. It's if I don't do yoga every single day, guys, I feel stiff, I feel pain. No. Do the yoga if you want to do the yoga, but if you're going to use it as if you don't do it, you're going to use that as an excuse to ruin your day, then guys, you can be peaceful in whatever state. There's some people that have just accepted that they're a little bit overweight and they're more at peace than the person who is and more at peace and more healthy, to be honest, than the person that is constantly obsessed with working out and their diet and counting calories and Everything can become a problem done in excess. Everything can become a problem if it is choosing you instead of you choosing it. So I guess what I'm here to just tell you today, guys, or just to enlighten you on, is my experience in this respect. I've been obsessed with positive things. I've been obsessed with negative things. Obsession, unfettered obsession, is dangerous. Whatever it is. It will make you depressed. It will make you anxious. Nothing ever should be used as a measure of your self-worth. Do what makes you happy. And then do what makes you happy in a way that doesn't lead to more stress and more anxiety. Just try to stay balanced, guys. I'm not going to say there's not going to be frustrations. I'm not going to say that you're always going to feel good. But the aim should not be to feel good. The aim should be to be happy and at peace with wherever you are at the time. If someone dies today, someone that you love, feeling good is not very appropriate. But accepting what you're feeling at the time is. So don't make anything a measure of yourself with your mood, what you do, your health. Nothing should be a measure of how you. Nothing should be a measure of your value as a human person. Nothing. Enjoy your day, guys, and just accept where you are at the time. Because only when you accept where you are can you truly change.